Hello and welcome once again to Journeys in Fandom.
We're back.
Again.
We're going to talk about wrestling.
Wrestling, brother.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to talk like that for the next 2 hours, dude. Yeah.
I mean, we can't do that because our voice would be destroyed after 5 minutes.
Well, why can't you speak when I'm back at work? Well, you see, dude.
Yeah, you see, brother. We talk about wrestling.
Yes,
the WWE Royal Rumble.
Dude. We're taking a diversion from our usual Doctor Who related banter, TV related banter, talk about wrestling. We haven't talked about wrestling for ages on certainly not on this podcast at all.
Yeah, not for this series, but back in series 1, as I lovingly call it, we did.
Yes,
we reviewed a Rumble, or no, was it a Rumble or a WrestleMania? Or
yeah, it might have been. Yeah. Was it the WrestleMania when Undertaker lost the streak?
Yes, it was. It was.
Yeah, I think it was that one. That's dates that because that was a long time ago.
Yeah, because we could barely form a sentence.
Yeah, it was one of those kind of.
I wasn't prepared.
Where were you when the Undertaker lost his streak?
Yeah. Yes, indeed. I think for context, for our listeners, viewers, watchers, followers, obviously me and Tim do like a bit of wrestling.
Yes.
And have seen it live a few times. We saw TNA when that was over in the UK.
Yeah, back when TNA was big.
Good. I confirmed my love for Velvet Sky.
I saw actually on Facebook Memories there was the shot of your face watching Velvet Sky's rear end jiggle about, and it did make me chuckle that we were going to do this episode this week.
Good times.
Yes, back when TNA was really, really massive. It's still going. It's actually been renamed itself back to TNA, so that's kind of very timely.
Yeah. Obviously, we need to do our news segment.
Oh, there's been. I should have written a list of how much news there's been over the last. It's only been like 2 or 3 weeks since we last spoke. Yeah. Where should we start? Millie Gibson.
Do you want to do Doctor Who news or wrestling news?
Well, let's start with the good stuff, and then we'll segue into the weird and wonderful stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So, has Millie Gibson been replaced on Doctor Who? That seems to be the biggest question, doesn't it? It's all a bit weird.
Yeah, because all of the news sites are saying that she's left and has been replaced in season 2. So she's only done a 1-season companion. Yeah,
and when I first sort of saw the stuff, it reminded me of when the BBC was leaking shit all those years ago, because it just came out of left field. The Daily Mirror reported on it, and then everyone else latched on it. But then obviously they've been doing the outside filming with this new lady, and I'm just Googling it because I can never remember her name.
Yeah.
So, and they haven't confirmed or denied anything, but it's blatantly obvious that she's not there. Although apparently she's filming 3 episodes of season 2. They have done some filming with her not that long ago, and that is season 2 filming. So it's all a bit weird. What's the lady's name? Fill the gap while I find it. Varada Sethu? I don't know.
Oh, that's a pronunciation, isn't it?
Yeah, so I've never heard of her, but she's been in other stuff. But it's weird. It is weird. And I don't buy into this.
I think the unconfirmedness allows the conspiracy theorists among us to
fill the gaps.
Speculate, yes, of course.
Because I've unconfirmed on Twitter, I don't know where they got this from, that she was sacked because she was rubbish. She wasn't a very good actress, which I can't believe that.
No.
Then there was people saying she's sacked because she was a diva on set. Weird. Other people say it was just the story line has run its course and she's just going. Other people say because of a random comment that Russell made on the commentary about when she returned. I've heard it. It's like he makes an offhand comment about, when you return to Coronation Street, we'll make sure they put your name bigger on the titles, as if to kind of sort of, she was only there for a bit. She's going back. It's all a bit weird. I wish the BBC or whoever would just come out and because like you say, they're filling the gaps with stuff, and it's just like, just come out and say, just be honest.
Yeah, it's when no news becomes news, isn't it? It's that problem. I'm sure And interestingly, a few people sort of said to me, "But companions leave after one series." I went, "You're young, aren't you? Oh, sweet summer child."
Yeah, well, yeah, because Bill did, but then that was because they got rid of. It was the complete regeneration thing, so it's not hasn't been done. I think the thing is because they made such a big thing about her and her origins. That's what kind of got me.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird that they do it after
But then
season.
again, you had Martha was a one season companion,
Yeah.
Donna was a one season companion.
It's not unheard of, and it might just be
yeah.
the storylines run its course, and that's it. They're just finishing it off.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think that openness allows people to speculate and wonder.
And some of the nutters online, it's annoyed me. People, well, it's because it's BBC and they've got to get their quotas in and blah blah. I said, no, it could just be that A, her storyline is gone, and B, they've just replaced her with another actress who happens to be of Indian origin. Anyway, so yeah, no, they don't. People are just filling in the gaps, and that just annoys me. I personally, I think storylines just run its course, let it run its course. I'll be disappointed because, like I said in our review thing, I really liked her. But it is what it is, isn't it?
And I think the reason why the Beeb have not confirmed or denied either way will be because it keeps it in a news cycle, doesn't it? It keeps it in your head. Speculation based on nothing keeps people talking about it.
Yeah, because it's not as if they didn't. It's not as if they didn't know this was going to happen, because whenever they have outside filming, it always happens. That's why they have to get ahead of the game with like costume reveals and stuff. So yeah, they're not stupid. None of them are stupid.
We joked that Tutti might have left before his episode even aired, and that was the joke, wasn't it?
Still might happen. Yeah. Because if they finish filming series 2 before May and he goes, then it would be weird. But anyway, we shall see. But the thing is, I think people still think we're in old New Who world universe where things happen in the same order and things happen the way they always have them. We're not. This isn't the BBC filming it. This is Bad Wolf. This is Disney. This is Sony. This is all sort. Everything's different. So don't assume what we've had before is going to happen the same way again. It is not.
Yeah. The old adage of 3 series and regenerate, the Davison special.
Oh, no, maybe it's 2 series and regenerate.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? Right, well, that's that news. Was there any other news before we get to the creepy portion of the news segment?
It's creepy news time.
Oh, yeah. So, for wrestling fans out there, where do we start with this one? It's been a roller coaster for WWE in the last 7 days, because it started off with the Netflix deal, which this is going to be awesome. So Netflix have bought the TV rights to WWE, and from 2025 in the UK they're going to show Raw, SmackDown, NXT, all the TV things on Netflix, as basically the network shuts down and everything is now moving into Netflix.
Happy days.
Yeah. The Rock is now...
Does that mean we're getting the full back catalogue as well?
Yeah, the back catalogue's shifting from the WWE network, because in America, that's already moved to Peacock, Paramount. So the international market was the only market that had the network left. That's all going to be moved on to Netflix, we assume. The network's going to get shut down, and everything's now going to be on Netflix.
Wasn't that deal worth like $5 billion or something?
Oh, it was crazy money. Crazy.
Yeah, because they literally said double it. You could just bought the entire company, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's Netflix have paid an absolute fortune for it, because in the States the TV rights for Raw and SmackDown is like a massive thing. So the fact they've moved it off cable, again, we don't get that over here, but obviously the cable thing, it's now shifted to streaming. It's going to be weird.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because it means I get to watch like Raw and SmackDown again.
Yeah, because I was contemplating getting TNT Sports this year just for a bit of a laugh to watch it, but no, I'm going to leave it now.
Yeah, sweet. So that was that bit of news.
Yeah, the Rock's on the board of the TKO, the overall thingy, so he's back on board, and he's got the rights to his name.
Owns, he owns a right
I hadn't realised.
The Rock.
Yeah. So he can call, not that he's going to do that, but he could do. So yeah, so that was positive news. And then literally, was it a day later, coincidentally, Vince McMahon, 2 days later, Vince McMahon has now resigned. The day before, the lawsuit that, long story short, for those who don't know, is last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year, 2023. Vince resigned and then came back after a string of allegations came out that he had been paying off women for having sexual relations with them over the course of numerous years when he's been in his 70s. And then that kind of, he resigned and then he forced his way back in because he still owned the overall share of the company. And then he sold his own company, basically. And he was now executive chairman of TKO, which is obviously what we just said, the overarching company, because obviously UFC is the other half of this company, we should mention. And then this week...
Because it was interesting, wasn't it? Because obviously Steph became like interim...
de facto president. Yeah.
And then as soon as he reappeared, she just went. She quit and was gone.
And a few other directors left as well.
Yeah.
And there was an internal investigation, and he said he'd pay back all the money he'd been using company funds to pay off these women. Everyone kind of thought, oh, that's it. It's done and dusted. Not done and dusted, but you know what I mean? It's kind of like it's died down. And then this week, one of the ladies who was in it broke her NDA because he stopped paying her NDA, and that's the reason she broke it. And I thought, oh, that's quite interesting. And you got all the sordid details. I don't want to speak about some of the sordid details. You can Google Vince McMahon legal.
Because it's not just him, is it?
Oh no, it's
John
Laurinaitis.
Yeah.
He got fired in the round last time.
Yeah.
And we knew about that, but we know about them more detail. And then Brock Lesnar got pulled into it as of this week, and he's now on. Well, not that he was really featured, but he wasn't in the Rumble yesterday, and he's now just he's probably gonna lie low to it all. Doesn't need to come back. He's got enough money, so he's now involved in it all. I think that was it. And there's lots of finger pointing now going on because Vince has now resigned again.
Yeah.
But there's lots of finger pointing going on. Who else knew? Who else was complicit? And they need to get rid of a lot of people.
I saw a note saying for the first time ever, there is no McMahons involved in WWE.
Yeah, because Shane had that disaster at WrestleMania last year and injured himself, and he was never involved anyway because he'd resigned. Well, he got fired.
Yeah. Obviously, Steph had gone.
So Triple H is the only link to the family left.
Yeah.
Wow, it was bizarre. And you read some of that stuff and you think, if half of that is true... He was 70. He was in his 70s when he was doing it as well. So more creepy.
Yeah.
It's like innocent till proven guilty, but
innocent till proven guilty, but come on, mate.
Yeah, there's a lot there that you just can't.
Yeah,
surely these women's not made up all this because it just is creepy. And you
just
think
there's a line where you go, you can make stuff up, but that's no. Yeah,
there's got to be some truth to it somewhere, and it's like, oh god, yeah. So he's gone. Probably will not be back.
Is it a positive?
I think it is. Well, because he's already gone in his what's the word? In the
creative role,
side. When they merged it, they got rid of him, and it's the WWE thing for a while was rubbish, and it's now starting to make sense. There's still some rubbish bits in it, don't get me wrong, but there's long-term storylines are now happening, and it's like, oh, this is really exciting. And the Rumble is a classic case of it. I'll come to that later, but it is starting to make sense.
Again, you've got the issue with him where sometimes you can see good stories happening and then the power of Vince just appears from nowhere and you go, God, really? Yeah, and you go, oh, come on, behave. Him going, it makes sense. And obviously now that they were bought out by a bigger company, they were never going to keep him because they only had Slim Jim had already pulled out of sponsorship earlier in the week, so they had to do something. So it'll go into legal world, but I can't see him going back. Can't see them bringing him back. And obviously, it was interesting they let him leave rather than getting rid of him because obviously to save face for everybody involved. Yeah, he's just resigned. Save face. Yeah.
He's only just shaved his mustache off, hasn't he? So maybe he's.
Oh God, the mustache! Oh God, that haunts me at night. Yeah, you just think no, it's not right.
1930s silent movie villain mustache.
Oh Christ! But yeah, so the Rumble. I confess, I'm very out of touch with wrestling because I only have access to the network. So anything I can watch is always well out of date because I'm not going to pay for sports channels to watch it live because I haven't got time or the money. But I enjoyed both the women's and men's Rumbles, and I made notes. I have questions.
I didn't. Basically, didn't say who's that? Who's that? Where did they come from?
Some of them are who is that, and also what gimmick is this kind of thing. But some of them were quite good.
This might just be an educational episode of the podcast then.
Yeah,
where you just ask me questions and I tell you what's going on.
Yeah, no, I'm fully expecting it to. So should we start the women's rumble? Because obviously,
that's the first thing on. I thought for the first time, since they started doing the women's rumble, it's the first time they haven't had to fill the gaps with loads of women from like 20 years ago. This is the first time they've had 30 women in there who are from the current roster and that don't involve like the Trish Stratus era of legends. I thought it was brilliant because it's been every year you get a few in there. You think, they've not got enough, but this is the first year that they've actually got a full complement of 30, if not more. Actually, it's more on the sidelines they could have brought through.
Yeah, I thought the TNA champ was amazing.
Jordynne Grace. Oh,
yeah,
I like Jordynne Grace. She's great.
She was brilliant. Yeah, and she was able to come in relatively early and just show off how good she is.
Yeah,
and I thought for WWE to do that, that's bold. That's new.
They did it 2 or 3 years ago with Mickie James was the TNA champion.
Yeah, but Mickie James is Mickie James.
She's a legend anyway. It's slightly different. This is Jordynne Grace, who's like never been in WWE. He's still relatively young and not been on that main stage. Yeah, so they've obviously got a good relationship with TNA. She
looked strong. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, she was kind of like
when her and Ivy were going up against each other, you went, "Oh Christ, this is two powerful women knocking seven bells out of each other." Happy days.
Good. So they've obviously got a good relationship with TNA now again.
I thought the only thing is, yes, she looked strong. She did good work. She didn't eliminate anyone though. I would have liked to see that.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah, but she stayed quite a while, and I suppose
she was in there for a good time. But that's the thing because no one really got eliminated for quite a bit.
Yeah, they kind of filled that ring up a little bit.
Yeah, and she was able to do a thing, but it would have been nice for her to get elimination. That was my thing. Bianca Belair, her entrance where she slipped on the ropes, and I thought, Christ, is she about to break? Yeah, I'm sure she's. Yeah, I had to go back and watch it because she jumps on the top rope and her foot slips and she kind of falls into the ring. Oh, and Jesus Christ!
No, I missed that bit.
Yeah, her hair worries me. It just, every time she does a move, it's going just one foot out of place, and it's all over.
Yeah, it is a real hair, and it's been growing. It's the gimmick.
Yeah, my health and safety hat keep just twitching whenever I see her. I go, no, cut the hair.
When she got eliminated way towards the end, when Tiffany Stratton was just pulling on it, I was like, that's surely even though she had a hand on it, it's still gonna have to hurt.
Yeah, exactly. And like you see in a ring, there are chunks of it. There are just chunks of black.
That was the one thing that made me chuck about the women's rumble. All the way around the outside were bits of hair and eyelashes and all sorts of like accessories that had fallen off during the match. It was kind of like you have to go over with a little brush to sweep it all up. Yeah.
What's her name? Brazier or whatever, the submission specialist.
Oh, Shayna Baszler.
Yes. I think she looked great, and the fact she's wearing like a Warhammer Blood Angels outfit just tickled me.
She's a bit of a nerd. She's on the gaming thing they do. Yeah.
Yes, I looked at her outfit and went, "Yes, I'm here for this. I'm with you, love. It's great." Chelsea Green getting absolutely obliterated by Nia Jax and Piper.
I love Chelsea. She's just so funny. Some of her stuff they do the little skits with her, and she's just genius. And those little bits where she just kept getting squashed.
I just went, yes, I'm here for this. This is fun, and you know it's coming. And she just kept getting more and more obliterated every time. I'm going, love, just look after yourself, just please, don't get hurt.
No, she's great and a good character.
I thought Roxanne Perez was also really good. Just was great fun. I thought what's her name? Piper looked
Piper Niven,
out of shape. Yeah. Whenever she did anything, she always looked out of breath and out of shape. And it was an odd one.
She's an interesting one because she's obviously trying to be nice. She's obviously on the larger side anyway, but I think to be fair, her costume didn't do her justice. I thought she was going to take those shoulder things off.
Yeah.
Well,
I wondered
disjointed
and thought, had she been out of action for a while, because she looked winded the entire time.
No, she's tag teams with Chelsea. They recently lost the belts. No, I thought a costume kind of distracted a lot, I think, because normally she doesn't wear stuff like that.
I thought Nia Jax looked really strong, and actually the setup they did to make her look strong, and then brought in Jade Cargill and just went, "Yep, 1-on-1. See you later, love." I went, "Yeah." No, it was so telegraphed, but it was beautiful.
It was interesting because a lot of people say online the only reason she's back is because The Rock is her cousin and she gets a job. But then they set her up really well. I think that was because that thing you said earlier about they didn't do many eliminations at the start was because Nia was coming in, so Nia would start knocking them down. And you're right. Because do you know the backstory to Jade Cargill?
No.
So she was from AEW. So she was an AEW original that left and came over. Basically, I could sit here in hours talking about how badly AEW manages to manage talent, but they basically bungled her a bit. She's got that star look, but she's not a very good wrestler. So they've had her in WWE for ages, training her, and this was her big debut. And obviously they're really going to push her now. And that bit was really good, where she just came in and just leathered everybody, and then just lifted Nia over the ropes.
She looked amazing.
No, she does look really good. She's got that star power. It'd be interesting to see how she does in the ring, because she is not that good. But in AEW, they kept her a bit like Goldberg. They kept her protected, and she was like running over everybody. But then she also eliminated Becky, which I thought was wow, and Naomi as well. So that was pretty impressive.
I missed Becky's elimination. I had to go back and see where she'd gone, and I suddenly went, "Oh God!" I thought, Becky she's in, lovely. That's going to be cool. And then next week, I blinked, I missed her.
Jade, I can see. They're going to push her now.
Yeah, and I think the fact that like Nia, they had everybody against her, and she would just literally push off the entire ring and go, "Yeah, I've got this." And then when she walks in, she goes, "Yeah, actually, love, I've got your number," and just yeets her out the ring. I went, I thought, who else? Tiffany Stratton. She looked great. Her first sort of move was really good.
She does that really cool. I don't know what the name is. The kind of cartwheel thing where she cartwheels into them and then grabs them and twists them around and puts them down. She's great. She's great on NXT. I think she's awesome. She's kind of gone from like this really weird character into this really good wrestler. So again, another one that's still in NXT that obviously is going to come up.
There was the lass from the development center who I don't even think she's in NXT or something. You could tell she was new, but she was getting some good stuff happening. I quite like the amount of protection on the outside. So like when you're doing like high impact moves and like you've got people just throwing people off the shoulders, you've got other people outside just catching them, and it doesn't look like they're catching them, if that makes sense. And I thought, because actually if you just smash into that ring side, that was going to ruin you. So it was good to see protected well, because talent.
Quite often you see the setup for that where you see them all kind of gathering and it looks kind of naff. But this time they didn't cut. They didn't cut away as much, so you didn't see the build up to the setup, which was good. And it was like it'd be one or two people just getting there, and you could just go, actually that's a nice cushioned landing, because otherwise, you're just going to break something. I thought Kairi Sane hanging on the edge with just her feet planted. I thought to myself, she's going to get back in. She's going to get back in. She's going to do something cool. And then she was gone, and I went, oh. It was just that moment of, come on. And I thought, oh, please. And I love Liv Morgan. She was great. She went back with, No, she's all right. Fair enough. My type is the Jordynne Grace type, so I'm quite happy with that.
No, she was fab. And
I like that Bailey won.
Yeah,
because
and she was in from 3.
Yeah, that is long-term storyline, because if you've not
Yeah,
obviously you've not seen it, is she's got that group of damage control, which is
yeah,
Asuka, Kairi Sane, who weren't supposed to be in the Rumble, and that's why Bailey was a bit like miffed while they were there, and also Dakota Kai, who's injured, is in it as well. But they've been teasing for ages that they're all going to kick Bailey out, because they keep kind of hinting that she's the weak link and stuff like that. So this is going to be, I can see this being a massive. Oh, and Io Sky is the other member, who is the women's
yeah,
champion. You probably saw him when it was her and Rhea Ripley watching on the monitor.
yeah,
There's going to be a face turn for Bailey here. They are going to either kick her out of the group before she gets a chance to pick the champion, and then obviously she's going to come back to face Io at WrestleMania. I don't think she's going to go after Rhea Ripley. She's going to go for. They're going to make the decision for her, if that makes sense. But it's been this story's been running since way back.
Because they're also saying, because they're also saying that of all the belts, the one that Damage Control haven't had is Rhea's, isn't it?
Yeah, and so the other option is they go for the Rhea one, she wins it, and then they kick her out. But I don't know. I could see them flipping that and kicking her out.
Ripley's been champion forever
since last WrestleMania.
Yeah, and actually, Rhea's great, so long may she continue. Because actually, a Bailey face-off would be interesting, but like you said, actually, if she gets kicked out and comes back as the avenging angel almost.
Yeah, it'd be. I think that's what they're aiming for, because Rhea could go off against the face Becky or somebody else, and it would work equally as well. But that would be a good storyline. Has
Bailey got bigger as well? Because obviously, I remember Bailey
she's quite skinny when she came in. Yeah, she's beefed out.
Up.
Bulked up. She's been for a while now. Since she's been a heel. She's been a heel for ages, but she was out injured for about I can't remember how long it was. 6 months, a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
and not long after they came back from COVID. So she's certainly a lot bulked up since last time she was a face. But I can see her doing that heel turn and just kicking her out of the group.
Yeah. No, overall, I thought the Women's Rumble was really good.
I actually thought it was better than the men's one.
I agree. That was going to be
far more entertaining.
I thought R-Truth just randomly appearing in the middle of it was just genius. I'm here for that.
He's brilliant. Some people absolutely hate him, but I think it's really funny. All the stuff he does, because he's got that. Like one year, he came to the Rumble and set up a ladder and started climbing it in the middle of the ring, and looked up for the thing, and there was anything there. It's just R-Truth. He's just brilliant. And the thing is, that's all he does, but he gets paid to do it, and it's just those little comedy skits that he's always involved in. He just say, he's genius.
Yeah, he's just I'm here for you. I'm all about this. Admittedly, is it Valhalla who was the last that was coming in when he ran in? And obviously, she literally ran in, just got dumped out straight away. I'm going, love. If I were you, I'd be really miffed.
Yeah,
it probably took you longer to put your makeup on than it did than you were actually in the Rumble for. But that was it was good. But like I said, my main takeaways were Piper just looking out of shape. Bailey was fantastic. It was good to see everyone was doing something.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, this is obviously who's going to win. You couldn't have called it from early on.
Yeah, both Rumbles you didn't really know. So that's been nice. First year ever that it's not been obvious who's going to win.
Yeah. I confess, I thought it was going to be Jade and Bailey as the last two. And then obviously when Jade got dumped out and then just... Liv followed her on. Actually, that worked quite well.
It was a quick ending, and I think that worked.
Yeah,
it played into Bailey's character a bit as well, the way she kind of sort of like took advantage of it.
Yeah, and everyone looked strong in it. That's the thing. There was no one looked bad in the whole thing.
No, it's good.
So the men's Rumble.
Well, I know you didn't watch them. The two matches in between. You had Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. US title.
Logan Paul, I couldn't care less.
Yeah, Logan Paul retained. He's good as a heel.
Is he?
He is.
Can he wrestle? All joking aside, can he actually do? Yeah.
And he's a dick, and everyone hates him, and he plays into that so much, and it works. Because when he first came a couple of years ago, they were trying to make him a face. It's like, no, everyone hates him because he's a dick.
Yeah.
And he's now playing into it, and it's working. So he tried to cheat basically at the end brass knuckles. Kevin Owens got hold of him, and then the referee saw it and basically disqualified him. Take it or leave it. And the Fatal 4-Way, Roman retained against Styles, LA Knight, and Orton. It was a good match, but Bloodline got involved again, and Roman Reigns won, and as he should do, really. So he'll roll on, and those guys, I think, will go their own separate ways going into Mania now.
Yeah. So the men's rumble.
Yeah.
The Uso off.
That was a good start. Yeah, good start. Because
I thought, actually, if you're going to have 1 and 2, and they can just pound 7 shades of crap at each other, can't they?
Because a lot of people speculate were they going to face each other at WrestleMania, and you could argue they probably still could, because there was a lot of rumour going around last year that Rikishi was going to come in to be the special guest referee, and that'd be awesome as well. So if that happens at WrestleMania, that'd be a nice little match there.
Yeah. Shinsuke Nakamura looked great. I thought he was...
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of good work with him, because for years they kind of let him spin his wheels a bit, but they're trying to get a lot more Japanese stars in, so they're boosting up these. Triple H is really pushing it.
I noticed that in the women's rumble there was loads of like Japanese stars. And actually, this is really good.
Yeah, and they're not stereotypical Japanese isms that Vince used to do. They're actually making these guys, letting them speak in Japanese, letting them do what they want, rather than making them really sort of stereotypical. And it seems to be working. So watch this space, I think.
Yeah. My next note, I prepared for this. You can tell. Ludwig Kaiser. What the hell?
Oh, he's great. So he's obviously with Gunther.
I think my note is simply, what are they meant to be?
Well, Gunther obviously is awesome, and he's kind of like Gunther's spokesperson. So when they do the proper entrance, he does he introduces him. Yeah. And recently, they've actually featured him quite well recently. Normally he's just like a stooge who just gets beaten up, but recently he's because his other partner, he's got 2 of them. The other guy genuinely got injured. So he's kind of on his own at the moment, and he's kind of come out of his skin a little bit, and he's just got a bit like over the top, but it seems to be working quite well. Yeah,
because I just looked and thought, I don't know what this is. I'm here for it.
I think he's Austrian like Gunther, or German. He is genuinely...
the fact there's the hands behind the back, kind of almost like stepping around the ring, I'm just going, this is bold. I don't know what you're doing, but I kind of like it.
It's that kind of German, Austrian arrogance, that's basically what it is. And he works quite well.
Yeah, well, it was the arrogance combined with like a campness, and I went, I'm here for this. It was good. Austin Theory turned up, did nothing, got dumped out.
It's a shame. Because I listen to quite a lot of podcasts, and a lot of people rave about how good he is. And he was, unfortunately, the only downside of Vince leaving was he's just been pushed right down the pecking order, because he was like Vince's little pet project. And you kind of get the feeling maybe he's getting punished because he was Vince's favourite. But he is really, really good. He beat Cena last at WrestleMania. He is good, but he's just not been given the opportunity to do much. He's stuck with Grayson Waller, and Grayson Waller's just annoying.
Yeah. Bronson Breaker?
Braun Breaker.
Yes.
Son of Rick Steiner and nephew of Scott Steiner. But they didn't keep his name. They've got him a stupid name. But apart from that, NXT.
Yeah, I thought he looked really strong and really good. And obviously when Osmos, whatever his name is, came in, it set that up because he turned up at a direct house, and then suddenly the big guy turns up and you go, oh crap, no one's going to be able to move him. And he goes, don't worry boys, I got this.
It makes sense. I was reading this evening, Braun Breaker took Brock Lesnar's spot in the Rumble. So all the people that he interacted with was how Brock would have interacted with them. So he basically just filled the gap. So when you look at it, you go, oh yeah, because Lesnar faced Omos at WrestleMania last year and stuff like that. So you can see where that came from.
Yeah, I'm now my notes are making sense. There's a Bronson as well, because there was like a double,
a big guy,
there was like a double slam. Where 2 guys on his shoulders. I went, actually, that's again nice displays of strength that are just nice to see.
Yeah.
What else? The good look on Gunther's face when Dom Mysterio just chops him. He just goes, nope.
Yeah, because
don't touch me, I will break
Gunther's
you.
chops just vicious. Just
Lethal,
go YouTube and just Walter was his original name. Just Google it, and it's like,
It's
jeez,
just,
some of the
it's
slow
just
mo
big
stuff.
welt, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, when you see it and you just see him hit the chest and then muscles and stuff like, oh
yeah.
Dominic Mysterio was great. He was really annoying as a face, and when they turned him heel, and he's this like real kind of like chicken shit heel now, and he's just like so funny and he's brilliant.
Yeah. So when he just chops him and Gunther just goes, nope, just smacks him and just
slaps him out of the way.
Yeah, I'm here for this. Kofi Kingston, I thought was going to do the normal Kofi bullshit.
Well, him
but he just turned up, got dumped out. Yeah.
The woman Katana Chance, one of the tag team, she does the same thing for the women, and she didn't do anything either. So I don't know whether they just stopped doing that, because like she's done a couple of like handstands and walking on the balconies and stuff before.
I think that was the thing. I was expecting it. Perhaps that's why I didn't do it, because you go, it's Kofi. He's going to do some Kofi bullshit.
A couple of times last year, I think he botched it. He's botched it a few times, made a mistake. So maybe they just thought, no, we're not going to do it this year.
Ivar, the big
the Viking dude,
he's really mobile for a big lad, isn't he?
Oh, because there's two of them, and the other one's injured, and they are they're really light on their feet for someone who's like must be what 400 pounds.
Yeah, because my notes simply says, "What is Ivar? He's mobile for a big man." And I went, because he just get bouncing around like a welterweight kind of thing.
Yeah,
Christ.
Definitely.
Pat, the commentator, Pat McAfee. Yeah. He was great fun. Just walks in, looks at the ring, goes, actually, and just walks out again.
Again, he can wrestle, and he has done. That was just, I thought, it was just the way he just went, no, that's it, I'll just walk straight back down and get back out.
Because when you had Omos and Braun in there, and he just went, to be fair, mate, I'm with you on that. I don't fancy that either. R-Truth, again, turns up, thinks it's a tag match. I just went, I'm here for you, mate. I'm fully invested.
And it's the reaction he got when he got the tag, and everyone is like,
yes. And then he's wearing his what's Dom's faction called?
Oh, the Judgment Day T-shirt with his little name at the bottom.
Wearing his T-shirt, and he's part of it.
He's got another T-shirt which is genius, where it's like he must make it all up himself, because he just one of the episodes of Raw, he just kind of said, something like, I haven't seen Tom and Nick Mysterio recently, but they're my best buddies, and there's now a T-shirt with him and it's Dominic Mysterio with two different outfits on, Tom and Nick Mysterio. And you can see some of the like Judgment Day creasing up and like breaking character when he's making these jokes, trying not to laugh because he's just like coming up with all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is when you're just doing like proper, basically stand-up comedy, I'm here. I am here for you.
He's old. R-Truth.
He's been around for years.
He's nearly 50. I'm sure someone said he's nearly 50.
Yeah.
He looks exactly the same because he's done TNA. He was in TNA. He was the second ever, NWA at the time, champion after Ken Shamrock. But he's done TNA. He's been WWE before that. He's been around for nearly 20 years. It's got to be. Yeah.
And that's the thing. He looks good. He still can go. And he's just doing fun. He's just having fun. I went, mate, I'm fully invested. Seeing Punk in a Rumble, didn't think I'd see that again. I went,
If someone had said to me this time last year that you'd have CM Punk and Cody Rhodes in the final of the Royal Rumble, be like, what?
What planet? What are you smoking, mate? Kind of thing.
Bonkers, but it's great to see him there.
The Sammy and Drew McIntyre elimination, just chef's kiss.
Again,
that was
storyline because Drew blames Sammy when he's part of the bloodline this time last year, or before this time last year, for getting him injured and he didn't get a chance at the title. So there's a whole backstory to that elimination, which was brilliant.
Yeah, and because the commentators were going, we've not seen Sammy or him since this, and so they went, I wouldn't know exactly what's going to happen, and it was brilliant. Again, Gunther was just brilliant. I loved him. And having Punk and bloody Cody Rhodes is your last two. Because of what?
I really didn't know who was going to win that. It's kind of like, it could go either way here. But I think the right person won.
Yeah, Punk coming back and winning it would make sense, but would be weird.
Yeah.
He's not, like I said, he's not been in WWE for 10 years, has he?
No, Cody is more popular than he is
Yeah.
because some people don't even know who CM Punk is. The WWE fans who are new, who've not seen it, don't know who he is yet. Really, they know he's a big star, but no, Cody is super popular. Even after all the stuff happened last year, he's still super popular.
Yeah.
So
I think there's more story to do that, and obviously, at some point, Roman is going down.
Well, that's it. This is the weird thing. So my inkling thought The Rock might come out at number 30, and he didn't. But they're obviously going to pull the trigger now at some point on Reigns versus The Rock. But how? Because if Cody, the storyline says really that Cody should beat Reigns for the title at WrestleMania. It makes sense. He didn't do it last year. He has to do it this year. But then you've got the massive money match of Reigns versus Rock. Yeah. I think CM Punk will go on to face Rollins because Rollins is injured at the moment. He's supposedly going to be back for Mania, but Punk will go off and he'll do that title somehow. They'll make it work. But how does The Rock Reigns figure into this whole thing? Because he's hinted at it.
They're not going to do something horrific like make it a three-way or something stupid. That would ruin it.
The only thing I could think of that it would work, and I was thinking about this today, is if it's because last year Cody lost because of the interference in the main event. If The Rock comes out to help Cody win against Reigns at WrestleMania, and then do you remember when it was Rock versus Cena and they did a whole year build to the next WrestleMania? That they do it something straight after WrestleMania where the Reigns challenges The Rock career versus Bloodline match or something like that, and it's a whole year to build to it. That's how I'd be satisfied because Cody needs to win. Although the most money is with Reigns versus Rock. The Rock doesn't need the title, but then they like having the belt on Reigns and breaking all these records. And I think there's only one left, and that's Hogan's 400 and hang on. While we talk, there's a record he hasn't broken yet.
Talking of Hogan, obviously he was in the intro, wasn't he?
He was, wasn't he? Well, 40 years of Hulkamania has just gone through.
Yeah.
1,246 days he's held the title, fourth longest reign in history since 1988.
Because is Roman fully healthy again? Because obviously he's had all the leukemia issues as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, he is. He's just part-time because he's now he's looking at Hollywood and stuff like that. He's negotiated a contract, so he's part-time. So I don't know. I really don't know how they're going to do it. But
because are they literally going to break all the records and then he just goes?
The thing is, The Rock obviously came out 1st of January and they hinted at it and everyone went mad. Yeah. And he said in previous interviews that they were going to do it year before last, and they didn't. No, it was last year because the time wasn't right. Well, the time's right now. He's on the board. He's not doing much in the film industry because of all the strikes. He's got a clean slate. You'd think now would be the time. But if they don't do it at Mania, when do they do it? Yeah, they can't do it at a Saudi show. A Saudi show would be awful if they did it there because the atmosphere would be. Don't get me wrong, the atmosphere would be all right, but it needs to be in the States. It can't be. In Saudi.
Like you said, with a year to build, sounds really good, but all it takes is one big blockbuster, and that plan is obliterated.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want it to be a three-way because Cody will get diminished in that three-way.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting because it's like, well, what do you do with him? How is it? Because the bloodline thing is kind of fizzling out at the moment. It's not as hot as it was.
But unless something happens in between now and Mania.
Cody beats him. Cody could beat him at Elimination Chamber with The Rock's help.
Which then sets up The Rock for WrestleMania.
And Cody could then face CM Punk, as an example. Because the Elimination Chamber is in Australia. And there's loads of rumours were flying around that the Australians wanted The Rock and paid extra to get him. but that's just rumor. So it could be Elimination Chamber is the last pay-per-view before
Because,
Mania.
again, there was talk, whereas The Rock was saying he wasn't interested in the title. There was the Garland instead.
The head of the table.
About like the head of the house, head of the table.
Yeah,
so actually, do you dethrone Reigns and get the title out of the picture, and then literally have it a head of the table match?
That would be the only other way to do it, is take the title off him, have that win.
But does that cheapen it?
It does a bit though,
because then he'd have to have back-to-back losses.
Because the only way that Cody could win the belt to not cheapen it is if he won it in Madison Square Garden, where his dad won it and then they took it off him, because that's the whole thing about the story. But he's not going to be in Madison Square Garden for a pay-per-view between now and WrestleMania. It's in Australia, so it just doesn't fit. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm really intrigued to see how they're going to do it, because they'll do it right. They'll do it right. I've got a confidence in them, but it's just like, how are they going to do this to make it work?
Yeah, it's and that's the thing. If you've built up to this state, if you get it wrong now, this has been years in the making, because you're not going to have another champion who's going to have the title for 4 bloody years.
No,
because it's so much to do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
With all the names involved, it's always going to be balancing a tightrope, and to get it right,
it's interesting stuff. So I'll be really interested to see how it pans out over the next couple of weeks.
And like we said, long-term story writing done well is a thing of beauty. Long-term story writing that doesn't land is
It seems to be coming together, and there's been fairly consistent good storylines, because you've got Rollins has got injured, so he may or may not be back, but he's got the animosity with Punk, so you can see that happening. You've got Damian Priest, who's got the Money in the Bank thing, hasn't cashed in yet, so he's still floating around. I think we were gonna get Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, but that kind of went out the window for obvious reasons. And there was some rumors floating about the other day saying that, because John Cena's been talking about, he knows when his final match is going to be before he retires, and a lot of people are thinking the Intercontinental Championship is the only belt he's never won, and Gunther might call him out for an IC title versus career match, which would be obvious who was going to win. But that might be quite interesting. It'd be a good way for him to go out. But there's lots of pieces all floating about at the moment. There's Randy Orton. Randy Orton, LA Knight? Where do they go? The thing is, the lot of criticism of the WWE over the last couple of years is they've not had big names, but now they've got a load of big names. Remember at WrestleMania, it used to be Brock Lesnar, Triple H, Goldberg, all the names they used to bring back, John Cena. But now you've got, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, AJ Styles, LA Knight, Randy Orton, Gunther. That's 7 big names who they finally started building some stars. 7 people.
And that's without the women's division.
Oh, yeah. And then you've got like Bianca Belair, Becky, Bayley, 10. Charlotte is injured. That's 11. There's so many. Rhea, let's not forget Rhea. How can we forget Rhea? And Io. You're talking like nearly 20 names there just for the big name matches.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
That's why WrestleMania takes 2 nights now, because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
You can't not.
I love the double format now, and I love it being on a Saturday as well. So the normal pay-per-views, because you don't have to suffer through not looking at your social media at work and watch it Sunday night. You can just watch it Sunday morning. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
So I think
have WWE ended up with too many stars? Have they gone the other way, where they went through that drought? Are they now in a glut?
No.
So you've got almost too many people to do stuff with.
I think they've got enough shows. And if you remember back to the big sort of Attitude Era, you had Austin, Rock, Angle, Undertaker, Kane, Triple H. You had those guys, and they just rotated round them. So they've got, like I said, they've got 7 big name male stars.
Yeah.
And it could rotate round them, and it works. Randy Orton's coming to the end of his career, but he's still got no time. But apart from that, you've got those guys, and you can throw in the John Cenas, you could throw in a few others as and when, but those names Roman Reigns wouldn't be missed if he wasn't there because they've got enough now to step up into that
Yeah.
gap. Whereas before you didn't have that, and AEW doesn't have that at all. It doesn't have enough depth at that top level.
No. Do you think we're going to see like many from AEW like come back? Things like
Andrade did, didn't he?
Yeah.
In the Rumble.
Oh, what's the third Shield member? John Moxley, whose WWE name escapes me.
No, he won't go back. Dean Ambrose. No.
Yes.
He's far too happy doing shit to want to go back into that thing. Yeah. He ain't great. MJF is the only one who I think would move, and he's supposedly out of contract. I don't think he is, but at the moment he's the only big name that I think would go the other way. But then if you look at Andrade's come back, and there's a few others in the lower card who you think after Vince got him fired will now probably come back and do relatively well. Because if you look at Cody, he came back and he's been elevated. Jade's gone, been elevated. So people going, oh, actually, if I go back to WWE now, Vince is gone. He ain't coming back. I might actually get a good shot at it. Whereas before they were all leaving because they hated Vince. It's AEW's in a mess. Their TV is awful compared to this. It's awful.
Mm. So who do we think is going to dethrone Rhea Ripley? And we've obviously, because we've talked about Roman Reigns enough. Rhea Ripley, who's going to dethrone her?
Well, I don't know, it's interesting with Rhea because she's getting cheered all over the place, but she's still acting the heel. So when she turns face, it's going to be big. But she's also the linchpin of Judgment Day as well. So it's difficult to see when that's going to happen. If I used to like Becky, but I don't like her anymore. I don't know why. I think she's just got too... When she came back and she was a heel, I like that change in her character. This man character thing, it's a bit old and it's a bit two-dimensional now. It's a bit wooden. So I don't want to see Rhea lose to her. Because anyway, Becky doesn't need that. Rhea would need to beat her, if that makes sense. Because she beat Charlotte last year and that was a nice defining moment. So Rhea beating Becky would be better. I think it needs to be someone else who's
one of them, sort of the new generation, effectively.
It's difficult because Rhea's by far the best women's wrestler they've got. There's a big gap. So I don't know. I'd probably like to.
I saw a few tweets sort of giving sort of like China comparisons because obviously she's doing a lot and just beating the crap out of half of the men as well. But you go, well, actually, because she's
unlike China, she can actually wrestle and she can wrestle well, really well. Yeah. And it's like she just gets it. So I don't know. I'd like to see her keep the belt for a bit longer, if I'm honest. And I'm trying to think of someone. You want to build that underdog kind of storyline where you've got someone a little bit who's good, but is little and can kind of like. They did it really well when they went to Puerto Rico and they had I can't say it, I never say it. Zelina Vega face her, and arguably if she'd won in Puerto Rico, the place would have gone nuts. It's that kind of thing, but I don't think they've got anyone to fit that mold yet. To kind of who's good and can get into that kind of like role. So I don't know. Keep her with the belt for a while.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you've got someone who is pulling audience and getting cheered and is doing good work, then actually leave the belt on and make him a draw. Yeah,
that's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think Bayley will face Io and beat her. And that'll be Bayley versus Rhea would be good. Has Bianca Belair faced Rhea? I don't know if they have actually, because they've been on separate brands, so that might be a good match. But I don't know.
Like I said, her hair just concerns me. It just every time she did anything, I just winced and thought, all it's going to take is that hair just get caught up on a rope or caught up on a foot. I was just thinking like, oh no.
Yeah.
I was twitching every time I watched it.
I can see LA Knight facing Logan Paul at WrestleMania because that'll be because they had a Money in the Bank. They had a good like promo back and forth between those two because Logan Paul, he's a dick. but he can talk, and LA Knight
Yeah.
can talk, and I think that will go down really well if he beat him.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm guessing we touch base after the next pay-per-views.
Yes, well, Elimination Chamber is the end of Feb, and then that's it till WrestleMania then.
Yeah, but I think if we keep an eye on what's happening, because we like content, guys.
Yeah.
And wrestling is one of our things.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to talk about next time then.
Well, it won't be Doctor Who.
No.
Hopefully. And it won't be wrestling.
No. We'll have to think of something. And
just do answers on a postcard to Matt and Tim.
I know. I forgot. I was going to say something. So this is kind of juxtaposition. I think I've used my TV license more in the last month than I've ever used it. You know, we talk about TV license, about using it. Have you been watching Traitors?
Haven't you?
Oh,
I've not been watching it, but I've seen you've been watching it because your Twitter feed is all about it.
It has gone. It is absolutely. It is seriously. It is the best thing on TV this year. There's nothing that's going to beat it.
It's like a Secret Hitler, One Night Werewolf, Blood on the Clock Tower.
It's the werewolf.
Kind of,
it's that board game. So basically you've got 22 people, and they're not Big Brother style dickheads. They are normal people, like different races, different religions, disabilities, ages, especially ages, and then out of them, 3 people are chosen to be traitors, and the concept is the faithfuls have to work out who the traitors are and vote them off. You get one vote. There's like a vote off every day, and then after that, the traitors will murder somebody else. So they're trying to get rid of people, and it basically comes down to the final. And if there's any traitors left in the final when the game ends, they get all the money. But the faithfuls, it is. I watched series 1 not live because I didn't really know much about it, and someone recommended it to me. I was like, oh, this is good. This time, first time I've watched live TV, like proper. You know what they call it, event TV, where you have to watch it because if you don't, people will be talking about it. It was that good. So it is definitely worth binging it because it's so. The final, like I say, that was on my Twitter thing. It's the best thing I've seen on TV. And they've done it so well because there's so many twists and turns to get to that point, and it's like, this is really, really like sitting on the edge of my seat. I had no idea what's going to happen. Yeah, it's that good.
Well, that's the thing. Games like Werewolf and Secret Hitler and Blood on the Clock Tower, where you have got a bad guy or bad guys working against a bigger team, they are so much fun, and you can really wind people up in knots with it.
This I think this was so successful this time because people got it. And there are a couple, without spoiling it, there's a couple of people who went in there and thought, I know exactly how I'm going to play this game. And they played it to perfection. And it made such good TV because they kind of lay into it and go, I'm just going to do it how I want to do it. And it's like, so good, so good.
Yeah.
So,
and again, with those sort of games, if you get someone who goes, I am going to be an agent of absolute chaos, and you just go, oh God, help us.
Yeah, and it's also like the psychology thing of just watching groupthink, watching herd mentality at work, and how people have no concept of what's going on, and they just kind of go, "Well, that's the popular person. I'm going to go do what they do because they're the most popular person." And it's like, but no,
I know worth watching. A lot of these games are based on. I think it was a university thesis or something saying that a small group with known information will always beat a large group that doesn't know the same information.
Yeah. I think that's the basis of that werewolf game, isn't it?
If do the traitors know who each other are?
Yes, they know, and they meet. They meet like every night. They meet and they confer, and they can also confer in public as well if they can. But they know who each other are, so that they. And actually, to be fair, that's been spoiling it. The only reason it got to where it got to in this series was because the traitors kept turning on each other. The first series, they were like a unit and they really kind of worked really well together. But this one, they're all turning on each other left, right, and centre. And it's like, well, this is just crazy because they're all kind of in it for themselves, and that's kind of like a really interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah. Like I said, if you've got a small group of people who know information that the rest of the group do not know, they should have the advantage. Literally like a university thesis or something to prove this this idea.
Yeah, and it is
it's
interesting
great.
watching how it all kind of slowly falls apart because people don't trust each other and there's just kind of like in it for themselves. But it's worth it. It's definitely worth it, and it is genuinely the best thing I've seen on TV this year, and it will not get beat.
Because that's what I was literally, before I came to record a podcast, I was at a session of Blood and Cocktail, which is the same thing, but you have roles, so you have a character you're playing as well, and they have abilities and such. And yeah, so when you suddenly go, wait a minute, you've been lying to me the entire night, you bastards. And the look of absolute betrayal on someone's face when you go, well, actually.
It is a beautiful thing. And
yeah,
I think the first series, people didn't really get it, that it was a game, that the objective was to lie. But this time, everyone's just doing it. And it's just like, it's just spot on TV. So, and Claudia Winkleman's great as well in it. She just plays that role superbly.
Yeah, love it.
Someone said she's one part fairy godmother, one part evil stepmother, all at the same time. Which is really nice to them, but she's also really harsh.
Love it.
So I totally recommend I play 12 episodes, binge that.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah,
cool.
We could do a podcast on that.
Excellent. So next time,
you've got 12 episodes.
Yeah,
there we go.
Actually, that's not a bad show. Cool. So unless we have a better suggestion from our faithful viewers, or talk traitors.
Yeah, there we go.
And the psychology of games like that, because there's so many of them.
And it's just the subtle art of lying to someone's face.
Yeah, it's good fun. Cool. I think on that note,
yes,
it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me, brother.